I really don't know where to start. Oh yeah, let's start back when I just arrived at Curacao to do some exploring. I wanted to check out lots of things, but my main goal was the caves they had there. I know it sounds weird, but I have always had a fascination for exploring caves. I've been to the Phallus Cave and the Peaks Cave, and more. But this particular cave piqued my interest. I don't know why exactly, but it did. I was excited to explore this cave. In fact, I found it hard to sleep. Like the day before Christmas would be a great way to explain my excitement. The next day came, and out I went. On my way to the cave, I stopped my car about a half mile away from the area the cave was located in so I could fully enjoy the scenery. And beautiful? That would be an understatement to describe this place. The grass so green, it almost looked fake. Trees so high, looked as if they could touch the sun. Then there it was, the cave. I found it after about an hour of searching. Yes, I shouted in excitement. I continued to walk up to the front of the cave. That's weird. It looks a lot smaller than it did in the pictures. But I shrugged it off quickly because of how excited I was to finally have found it. So I continued further into the cave, and it was even more beautiful on the inside. The cave was huge. The walls were a very interesting color. It looked like chocolate and vanilla mixed together. I had never seen anything like it before. I decided to go deeper into the cave, something I would not usually do alone, but I figured I'd try my luck. A decision I still regret to this day, but looking back, I couldn't help it. It seemed as if the further you got, the more beautiful the cave became. The more the colors started to pop and the textures started to become more detailed, almost as if it all was handcrafted by some sort of god. Now looking around the cave, I found a narrow path and decided to check it out. I squeezed my way through, nearly ripping my shirt as I grunted and wiggled my way through. Finally making it through the small gap, I was shocked to see what looked like hand paintings and carvings in the rock. It was in some language I was not familiar with. At first glance, it looked like Japanese, but I knew how to read Japanese, so I knew it couldn't be that. So I decided to snap a picture and continue on my adventure through the cave. Then I got this weird feeling. I started to feel as if I was going to throw up. So I decided to turn around and head out. Then that's when I realized the way I had came in from was swallowed by complete darkness. What? I thought to myself. It couldn't be dark already. Then that's when I realized I've been in here for about 6 hours. What? That just didn't make any sense. But I decided to find my way out as fast as I could before I got lost. So I picked up everything I had and reached into my back pocket for my flashlight. My hand smacked the back of my pocket where the flashlight would be. Damn it! I must have left it in the car. So now confused and kinda scared, I decided my best bet would be to feel my way out of the cave. Well, here we go. As my hand smacks the cold, wet rock wall, I made it about 20 feet when I heard what sounded like a clacking noise with a pattern of footsteps. What the hell was that, I thought to myself, with a bit of fear in my voice. But I knew I had to continue walking or I was going to freeze to death in here. And just as I started walking again, I heard that clacking sound start again at the exact same time as I started walking. Now at this point I knew something was following me. But I tried to keep calm and take a deep breath, just as something wet hit me on my head. Now me thinking it was bat droppings, I pulled up my sleeve and wiped it off. As I did, I realized that it didn't smell like it. So me being curious, I reached into my back pocket and pulled out my lighter and lit it, only to reveal what I thought was bat droppings was blood. I freaked out and dropped my lighter. So I reached down to pick it up and I relit it and held it up high enough to illuminate the ceiling of the cave, only to reveal a creature with a head that looked like a bull's skull, and its body was nothing but black fur covered in blood. I sat there staring into its deep dark eyes. I trembled in fear. Then I finally came to my senses and took off running, not knowing where I was heading. And as I was running, I could hear it jump off the ceiling of the cave with a weird demonic grunt, followed by the ground violently shaking under my feet as I hauled it in the opposite direction. Now as I was running, I knew it was getting closer with every step because I could feel its breath on the back of my neck, warm and moist. It was so hot it started to sting. With every step the creature took, I could feel that blast of air down my back, over and over, as I desperately tried to search for an exit. To my surprise, I see the moonlight, and desperately tried to increase my speed. As I jumped out of the cave, I struggled a bit to get back on my feet, and started to run once more. Then I realized that I no longer felt that blast of warm air going down my back. So I turned around to see the creature standing there at the entrance to the cave, with its deep eyes just staring at me and its fur waving in the air, as if it were telling me to never come back. I wasted no time and rushed to my car and got out of there as fast as I could. But that's not where the story ends. I wish it was. Remember that picture I took? Yeah. The next day, I got the film developed, and standing in the left corner of the picture was a disfigured being, waving. Just a few days after, I began to see this humanoid figure I was talking about earlier. I started to see it everywhere I went. I was walking home, and I would see it out of the corner of my eye in a dark alley. When I was at the gym, I would see it across the street through the glass window, staring at me. With the exact same pose it was in when I took the picture. Its head cocked to the side, with its left hand up, as if it were waving. It got to the point where I started seeing a psychologist about it. He just told me my mind was making up things and gave me some prescription pills that was supposed to help, but I knew everything he was telling me was BS. I threw the pills out when I got home and crashed on the couch, falling asleep, when all of a sudden I felt a slight, overwhelming breeze. That's strange, I thought. I don't remember leaving the window open. So I opened my eyes and tried to stand up, but I couldn't. My whole body was completely stiff. I started to panic, and then that's when I seen it, out of the corner of my eyes. The figure that's been stalking me for days. But something was different about it. You could see it better this time, like it was no longer a blur. Its face was peeled back, revealing eyes and a mouth. Then I realized what I thought was a wave was actually a knife it was holding in its hand, its feet completely out of pace with its speed. And it began stabbing and thrusting me with the knife into my side as I lie there, still paralyzed, as I'm forced to feel this agonizing pain. Then I close my eyes and begin to pray. And just like that, it was over. There was no stab wounds and no blood. I sat there, in shock of what just happened.